Welcome, everybody, to another episode of The Book Club, the thing that we totally do on time every time, where you get to read and listen to all the excellent works of the Black Library, guarded by funny clowns and genuinely way better than anyone gives it any credit for. But before we get started, if you enjoy this podcast, head on over to patreon.com/Adeptus Ridiculous, where you can check out all the cool things, the posters, the bloopers, the Discord, everything in between. But I don't want to get too long into it because we do have a quick ad for this one. I'm going to roll it. Yippee! Before we get started on the book, this video is sponsored by HelloFresh. HelloFresh has the ability to absolutely kickstart the year and heading into Q2 with all kinds of great options, such as free breakfast for life with every single HelloFresh delivery. And when things get difficult, plans change and all that, it allows you to easily customize your delivery from week to week to match your lifestyle options, including anything and everything from each new season. HelloFresh has a ton of options to support your wellness journey like never before, with over 50 dinner options and even more market items that suit all kinds of lifestyles. It's a great way to make sure you hit your goals in an extremely fun method and, most importantly, a delicious one. So go ahead and click the link in the description and use code ADEPTUSFEB10 and receive 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life, a breakfast item per box while your subscription is active in the US. The link and code are valid in all other countries and respective local discounts will apply. Thank you very much for sponsoring this video, and let's get on with the book club. Welcome back.
Yippee!
I sure do love traders.
Oh, yes. Just love being betrayed by my brothers in arms, don't you?
I gotta be honest, as far as betraying goes, this book had a pretty high per capita in terms of betrayals.
It is the big betrayal book. This is the Isstvan book. This is oh mama.
Yeah, this is well, it's not the Isstvan book because there's two Isstvan books technically.
That's true.
So this is like the first Isstvan book, but yeah, wow. So Galaxy in Flames is our book for today. It is the third in the starting Horus Heresy trilogy that kind of really goes in with the whole thing. You start with Horus Rising, then you get False Gods, and then you get Galaxy in Flames. And then I believe after that you get Flight of the Eisenstein.
Yep.
And then
Nathaniel Garrow making his trip to get absolutely gobsmacked by Dorn, right?
I believe that is the book where that happens. And then, for the most part, I'm pretty sure it's like this is the trilogy, but Eisenstein is a pretty big part of it. So I guess it's like a four-parter in a sense.
Yeah.
But for our main cast, this is pretty much the end of their main involvement, so to speak.
Yep.
So it's, I gotta be honest. I like this book. I think it might be my least favorite of the three, but I don't consider it to be like anything at all bad. I think it's just like a step below some of the other ones, just a little bit. What are your thoughts?
I really like this book. So I don't know if it was the best. I'm gonna put it like right smack in the middle.
Which one's highest for you? Horus Rising?
I think Horus Rising is the tip top, and then Galaxy in Flame after that.
Okay. I think I'm basically I think I'm Horus Rising definitely. False Gods, oh god. False Gods and Galaxy in Flames are like about equal.
Yeah, they're close.
They're really close. I think the second half of False Gods is a bit weaker, but but when they're on the Nurgle planet, it just it's incredible.
True, the Nurgle planet is a good moment, but I don't know. I felt like False Gods was more, or Galaxy in Flames was more like consistently like on for me.
I think I would agree with you, though I would argue the second half of Galaxy in Flames kicks the first half's ass because the second half is awesome.
Oh yeah, because that's when you get the virus bombing. That's when yeah.
It is a very betrayal level book. I'd still say it's absolutely worth a read. I mean, this is required reading if you really
Oh,
want to
yeah.
get into like the heresy era, right?
Yeah, I feel like the trilogy is required. You kinda if you really wanna get a scope of the Horus Heresy, you really wanna get into the Horus Heresy books, you gotta read these 3, right?
It kind of also maybe not like wrapped up things in a bow, but it definitely like closed out a lot of loose um like loose lines or various like kind of side stories that I think were maybe not as interesting in the other books, were a bit meandering, and then they
Yeah.
kind of nicely cut them up, cut them down. Cut them down
Oh,
can arguably be a more literal phrase if needed.
poor Torgadon.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're gonna get right into spoilers at this point,
Mhm.
but honestly, like, it may. Did you play the Metroid Prime games, DK?
I did not.
Really?
I remember well, that was the one on GameCube?
And then Metroid Prime 3 was on the Wii. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing it on GameCube, and there was a lot of backtracking, and I never finished it because I got lost, and I was just like, "Eh, this isn't doing it for me."
I mean, that game was much older. I mean, I played it when I was definitely like a tween, or even maybe before that.
Mhm.
But whenever I talk about Metroid Prime, because I love those games, for me, Metroid Prime 2 is like a 9.2. I love it. And then
Oh,
Metroid Prime 1 is like a 9. And then 3 is like an 8.9. This is how I feel with these books.
fair.
Horus,
They're all bangers, it's just like, point 0.1 differential.
it's a very light differential. I think they're all
Mhm.
very good. I have my issues. I think Horus definitely falls a little easily, and he does some mental gymnastics to really get there.
Yeah.
But that's kind of one of the reasons why False Gods has its issues. But I think the only reason I didn't like this one as much as False Gods is that I just don't think the writing is at quite as good. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just like some of the dialogue and some of like the general what's it like beat by beat pacing. I think it's just a little off.
Mhm.
But honestly, that's kind of it, because everything else, like the individual moments, are great. It's also narrated by Toby Longworth, who is once again incredible because he's done everything.
See, I had a physical copy of the book, so I have no idea how the, audiobook sounded.
Oh, you read it.
I read it.
Oh, you read it. So you read it.
I read it.
So you read it. You read it.
READ'd it.
Well, I want you to read it.
I read it.
Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Toby Longworth, thank you, Shy. You got the Fesh Prince reference. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, Toby Longworth did the Horus Heresy series, a lot of them, but he also did Eisenhorn, and he also did the Gaunt's Ghost series, and his Gaunt's Ghost VA work is stellar.
Phenomenal.
Oh my god. He's able to take like 6 separate Scottish guardsmen and make them all sound unique.
Unique,
It's
yeah.
so good. But anyway, sorry, not to go too crazy. So Galaxy in Flames, what are like what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you finish Galaxy in Flames?
Whew. What a ride. It sure ends on a lot of, like, heartbreak and, like, oh, my favorite characters. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, fuck. Also surprised anybody could survive on Isstvan, because I kind of forgot that, like, so virus bombing, I was like, "Oh, yeah, flesh eater virus goes crazy, everything gets turned to sludge. That sucks." Um, I totally forgot you could ignite the gas from, the flesh eater virus that they let loose, and oof, boy, that sucks.
Oh, and like burn the atmosphere itself.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, flesh eater virus, wow, amazing. Look at all the space marines that survived," and then it's like, "Oh."
Yeah. Yeah, it was it's a pretty gross bomb, to be honest. No doubt clearly effective. Um
Very effective, yep.
Have you noticed that in the also like a total side note, have you noticed in the cover art for the book, you've got the Dies Irae back there?
Mhm.
It's
Oh,
it's kind of cool to actually like see it
yeah.
visually, you know?
'Cause they were a relatively important part of the book,
They
right?
were
The crew of the Dies Irae and, like, well, humanity finally, like, being like, "Oh, yeah, you know what? Worship of the Emperor? That's okay! Oh, we've even got a saint. We've got a saint!"
Oh god, the name's it's Keela, right?
Euphrates Keeler.
Euphrates
Yep.
Keeler. Yes. Who?
Saint. He was asleep for 90% of the fucking book.
She's literally Sleeping Beauty the entire time.
Yeah.
She also. So she. Did we fit? Is she a psyker, or is she just like blessed? Because she's got powers.
She does. I don't remember if they mentioned that, like, she was because she was just like a remembrancer, and she was helping with the Book of Lorgar, and then she was just apparently blessed by the Emperor, and now she's got foresight. Now she's got the ability to stop bullets, and I think she's just blessed by the Emperor.
I can't tell because like at first I'm just thinking, oh, these things sound like psychic abilities, right?
They do.
Maybe she might be like a latent psyker or whatever it's called, where you're not like you don't really know you got what you got.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
she is the one kind of creating the faith in the Emperor. But this is also before faith in the Emperor is a good thing.
Yeah.
This is bad times for that. So I'm not
Oh,
quite
yeah.
sure. The easy answer would be she's a psyker.
Mhm.
But it's a bit of a weirdo one. But yeah, the crew of the Dies Irae is pretty important as well.
Yeah.
They do a big steppy.
They sure do a big steppy. Yep, they do.
They most definitely do a big steppy. Also, can I get some respect on my quite evil but badass Maggard, the bodyguard?
Oh, the bodyguard who is being like slowly morphed into a space marine,
Like
I
a
guess.
quasi Astartes, yeah, like
Yeah.
dude is loyal to a T.
To a fault.
To a fault, and he absolutely is a huge thorn in the side of people for at least a couple scenes.
Oh yeah, and then he gets a huge thorn put through his jaw.
Yeah, he gets shot right by
Well, he gets shot in his wound, but then doesn't
the
Iacton or something puts his sword like right through his jaw, doesn't he?
I think it's and then it's Cinderman who shoots him, I think, right after that.
Yeah, Cinderman shoots his wound.
Right. Okay, that's right. No, it's Lacton Cruz.
Yeah.
Yes, the half herd, the old guy.
Mm-hmm. The one that's helping the humans get free of the remembrancer culling.
I really remember. I always thought it was funny because, like, I kind of like Maggard a little bit because the dude was literally a serf, a slave to. Oh, she died in the last one. It's not Mercedes Olaton, is it?
It's Petra.
Petronella Vivar.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
I kept calling her Petra V.
Petra V. Because she was like strangled to death by Horus. But I remember because he was like slave and concubine to her. And I remember there was that part in the last book where he like mouths like fucking bitch or something to her, but because he can't speak because his tongue is removed.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, you know what? He deserves to have his day in the sun. He deserves to cause problems because he may be on the bad side. Oh, bad side, you know what I mean? But he's he didn't have the best life.
No, I totally understand why Maggard would become what he became.
He was pretty.
He was like, look at me rise in the ranks. I'm a damn near Astartes now.
He's pretty cool. That's also one of those. Well, speaking of closed loose ends, the Remembrancers.
Yeah, they tied up that loose end.
Yeah, they Horus is like, come everyone, check out this virus bombing. Also, bye.
Yeah, that was when Horus finally says out loud, like, "Yep, the Emperor's a bitch. I don't like him. We're not doing his thing. I'm doing what I want to do. You guys want to see war? Congratulations. Here it is."
And then just guns them all down, with the exception of a couple who get away.
With that we just mentioned. Yep.
Euphrates Keeler, Cinderman, and then the half herd guy.
Yeah, and I think Mercedes Allah
yes, Mercedes
gets out
Alatin.
too. Mm-hmm.
And then they all eventually escape and head on over to the Eisenstein with
On the
Garrow.
Thunder. I like how at some point Horus is like, "Can we please get some extra guards on these Thunderhawks? They keep going missing."
That is really funny.
Yeah, please. This is the second one in less than an hour.
I do. Oh, right, because the other one was it Tarvitz?
Yeah, Saul Tarvitz took one.
Okay, so remembrance to the side. Saul Tarvitz.
My boy,
What?
what a Chad.
What a guy.
Oh, God.
I was like, Saul Tarvitz seems out. He seems kind of all right. He's just like this Emperor's Children dude. Like, he's fine. That was in the other books. Holy.
Yeah, he really steps into the light on this one and is whew.
He was an absolute like holy crap.
He is him.
He is actually him. He probably is this was the Saul Tarvitz book. The dude is like, oh yeah, we're getting murdered by Horus and friends. I'm going to be the biggest thorn in his side you have ever seen.
Yep, he may win this, but we're gonna bleed his ass so dry, his whole campaign is screwed.
He's like, I think he genuinely delayed Horus by like months.
Oh yeah,
like
he held that I think it was the Coral City Dome.
Yeah,
the central part of the city. Whew.
He held it for genuine months. Like fought against the traitors for the longest time. He does have an old Horus Heresy mini too.
That's pretty solid for an old mini, actually.
Well, actually, I don't think it's actually that old. I think it's just like resin.
Okay.
Oh, maybe it's a little old. I don't know.
If it wasn't for that son of a bitch Lucius,
dude,
who knows?
Okay, so before I was like, man, I hate Erebus. Now I'm like, Lucius is a bitch.
Man, I hate Lucius.
Lucius.
Yep. All because people were like, oh, wow, Saul Tarvitz is doing really good. Wow, Saul Tarvitz. And Lucius was like, but what about me? I did really good. I beat the big, scary dude that was holding the city. Boo, boo, boo. It's like, Lucius, stop it.
It's insane. Like, I'm actually really excited for. So, I know you don't know this, but like the Emperor's Children Codex is coming out. And it's got problems. It looks like fun to play and has some like awesome rules. But they basically like act. So when World Eaters came out, they like got rid of a crap load of chaos units, and they were like, "What the hell, man?" And then this one came out, and they got rid of like even more. And so it's like a double. Like you don't even have the tanks. Like you have like a Land Raider and a Rhino, and that's it. And so it's kind of like, what the hell, man? You know. But so there's a lot of problems going on with that, even if the rules look really, really like fun and the models look cool. But now I'm in this feeling where I see all of the Lucius crap and I'm like, I hate him so much. I am definitely using him in my army.
Absolutely. And like after reading this, and I was like, oh man, I hate Lucius. And it's like, oh hey, there's a new Lucius book coming out called Lucius the Faultless Blade. I was like, I need it.
Yep. Now I really want to learn more about Lucius because I despise him.
Yeah, he is the main villain. And I have no idea how he survived that last little onslaught and got away from like the like they essentially bombed his ass, didn't they?
So Lucius is like, Tarvitz is so cool and good. Hey traitors, how about how about I like kill everyone and you welcome me back into daddy's arms? And they're like, okay. And then I mean, in fairness, he killed like 30 Astartes by himself. Like he absolutely slaughtered them. And then I will say, absolutely phenomenal callback to have Tarvitz punch him in the face.
Oh,
phenomenal callback to Horus Rising. I completely forgot about that. Amazing choice.
Do you know his nickname, DK?
Lucius the Eternal.
The Eternal, right? Because when he gets super chaos pilled, it's like I remember you telling me about this. It's like if you get any joy out of killing him or any emotion, it's like he takes over your body and you become a face on his armor, right? So he's literally eternal.
Yes, but this is before that.
Oh yeah, this is way before that, but that's how he gets the eternal nickname, or is it just because he's just so good that he's Lucius the Eternal?
I think I don't think he's Lucius the Eternal yet. I think he's just Lucius.
Okay.
So at least I'm pretty sure he's just. I don't think they ever referred to him as the Eternal in this book, but
yeah,
he's the Eternal now. But I think actually, in a sense, I don't even know if Lucius is like still in there. It's kind of weird. I don't know if you turn into Lucius. I think you just like take the demon who is Lucius. I don't know. I gotta look into Lucius a bit more. Maybe
his new mini looks great though.
Maybe this book. You know.
Yeah, maybe this book. God, that cover is so rock star.
I do love how they're going with the glam rock with the Emperor's Children a lot more. But yes, so yeah, Lucius, like he obviously like lost the duel against Tarvitz and everything. Well, no, he was gonna win, and then Tarvitz punched him in the face, and then reinforcements arrived, etc. The whole deal.
Yep.
Really, I mean, if we're being perfectly honest, the main meat of this book is the Coral City, right? Them being down there. We don't get much Garrow, but I know Garrow is like Luton's favorite character.
So he must love Flight of the Eisenstein, because that's got to be completely centered around Garrow.
I think it's Luton's favorite book. I think it's his favorite book.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean it's no Soul Hunter, but it's I wouldn't know. I haven't read it yet, but okay. Also, love how Horus is having a little Perturabo feelings there when he's like, "Oh, we got to move on," and Angron's like, "I can't wait to kill everybody."
He's like, "Oh my god, Angron! Why did Angron go down there? Oh, Jesus! It's like herding cats with you people."
I think it is so funny because it's like, okay, oh god, this Tarvitz guy, he's causing me so many problems. Garrow is causing me so many problems. Now it's Angron doing it. Are you kidding me?
Yep, he definitely has a Perturabo I am surrounded by idiots moment. Yep.
Yeah, it is very funny. But I mean, most of the book is just a lot of major setup. You do get a little bit of like Eidolon in there and Bile's weird shenanigans, which is kind of why Tarvitz is like, nah, I ain't interested.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about the Bile and Eidolon offer Tarvitz like perfection if he'll just undergo these weird experiments, and Tarvitz is like, fuck that, dude. No, I'm out.
No way, man.
No, thank you. This is BS. I'm out.
And then during that time, of course, you have like, then there's all like the virus bombs, and then of course there's Garrow kind of getting away and that whole deal. I feel like the whole book really is just leading up to the three main ending bits, which is Tarvitz and Lucius.
Yep.
And then of course Abaddon, Aximand, Loken, and
Torgadon. And they oh no. And Torgadon has to duel Aximand. I don't know why. Up until this point, I was like, oh, Torgadon's totally got little Horus. Like he's totally gonna like cream his crops. And he kind of got bodied. Although Loken was kind of getting bodied by Abaddon too.
Well, Abaddon bodies lots of people. Yeah. Classic Horus Heresy era artwork.
Whew.
Good times.
That's a little dated, sure. Yeah.
It's a little dated, sure, but it feels very I don't know. I kind of like it. It's kind of quaint. Like they got this really cool picture of Tarvitz. Well, that's not really an embed fail. It's a link.
It's just about though, like, oh man,
yeah.
That picture of Tarvitz, he is seen. He is on Isstvan. He is not having a good time. He is just barely surviving.
He's got like the more stern version of the Vietnam War stare.
He sure does. He has that endless, glassy-eyed stare of just, I've seen hell, bring it. Yep.
But yeah, the big the big climax of the book is Loki, Garviel Lokim fighting Abaddon and Gadon fighting Aximand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what happens? And Torgadon gets ahead of himself.
Damn it. You had to do it that way, didn't
I
you?
did. I'm sorry. If we're gonna do that to Ferrus Manus, we have to give equal opportunity joshing to all of them. I'm sorry, Torgadon. Loved you. You were the comic relief. You were best bro. But
I knew he wasn't gonna make it too. Like his days were so numbered the moment he was like, Mournival, eat shit last in False Gods, but it's so sad, man.
that one was tough. And I feel like in like the last book, like you really get attached to Torgadon too. Like in this book, it didn't feel like he had quite the big role, but in the last one, he was such a bro to Loken, and it's just like I got really attached to him in the last book, and then it's just like, oh no, don't do it. Someone stop Aximan.
And I feel bad too because Aximand isn't particularly like a terrible dude either.
Oh yeah, he goes through like super like you can see he is guilted and depressed by the fact that he had to do that.
Yeah, he's it's really unfortunate because like he's very clearly like, come on, man, don't do this. But then
Yeah.
he believes in Horus in the more traditional sense, not like
Mhm.
chaos corrupted, none of that weirdness. He just kind of believes in like, the emperor sucks kind of
Yeah,
thing.
he's completely back in Horus. I mean, he's little Horus.
Yeah, he's a little Horus. I mean, that's
He's
true.
little Horus, yeah.
And then we knew Abaddon was a lost cause, but Abaddon always felt like a lost cause.
Yeah, he always kind of felt like the war hungry, like you're not gonna reason with him. Once he's picked his side, it's over.
Yeah, he's too. He was literally trying to like slaughter remembrancers in the last book.
He was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean we have to make things right by the remembrancers and the humans? Who cares? We're Astartes. Let them be unhappy. We'll blow them over."
Each book has like the him character. Horus Rising is very much Loken, and then False Gods was definitely Torgadon. This book is definitely Tarvitz.
Oh yeah,
But
100%.
it is. I do find it a little bit like it is very melancholy. You lose Torgadon, and he's like it almost kind of signifies something. Like you lose the comic relief character, and
Yeah.
that's when it's just like this era of Astartes is over. Like,
Oh yeah, definitely.
did you
Like
just make that shy?
that's impressive.
That's pretty quick.
That's real quick.
I think you should have black and whited it. It would have
Yeah, black and white the Vietnam stare.
yeah, it would have done been a little bit extra little bits.
Agreed.
But yeah, like you get like a lot of the remembrancers all have to flee. Torgadon, the main source of comic relief, is like dead. You just kind of feel like this is the end of that kind of brotherly camaraderie that you got in 30K. Now you're back to like this is wartime.
Yeah, it's like it is literally the fun just died.
Yeah.
And it's like this is just how serious it has gotten because Torgadon's gone, nobody to be lighthearted anymore. This is serious now. Yeah.
So and then of course, we know Loken survives. Though to be honest, if you were like reading this at the time and you were not aware of Loken's later history, you would think that was the end for him. The dude ends the entire book looking up and watching bombs fall on him.
Oh yeah, if I wasn't aware that Loken makes it like through a majority of the Horus, I would assume this is it for just the more like for any non-traitor Astartes. I'd be like, yep, that's it. They're gone.
I mean, that was the final line of the book, right? What was him looking up and seeing the bombs?
Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it? I think that was like the one of the very last things. Yeah.
I do. It is really fun. Oh yeah, because the Dies Irae, they do spend a lot of time on the Dies Irae. I must admit.
They do. I feel like that's another betrayal because the main princeps is totally with Horus, but the rest of the crew is like, oh no, shine the light of the Emperor, love the Emperor, holy. And they have to kind of like fight him off, and there's more betrayal. Everybody, shocking.
Kind of a reversal from what we expected, right? Because it almost reminds me of and we're gonna do a Mass Effect reference. Remember in Tally's loyalty mission, you have like Voss Quip, and he's a bit of like he's on your side because he's like, I love experimenting against Geth.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the next book, he's like the good guy, or Quip is against you. No, he's an asshole. And then he's on your side in the third game.
Yeah,
there's like a flip.
You kind of convert him.
I thought that the prince.
Quip.
Yeah, Quip. I thought that because in False Gods, the dude reading about the Emperor, you're like, oh, shut it, annoying ass. like stop doing that, because like the princess was kind of walking his ass around like with a bunch of swagger, drinking, and he's like, whatever, man. But in this book, yeah, he's kind of the asshole. He sides with the Horus and he shoots the dude dead.
Yeah, he does, and he's like, oh yeah, kill the Death Guard, no big deal, everybody, ha 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 ha, tee. Oh yeah, shut up, shut all the vents. Guess what's coming down, everybody? And they're like, oh shit, you knew.
Yeah, he was fully aware. And then he saw all of them fighting down in that big building, and he was like, ooh, big steppy.
yeah, totally.
Just literally steps on the building they're all fighting.
Steps on the building, yeah. Yep.
They assume, I mean, again, the amount of times people like assume someone is dead and they're not dead is getting a little farcical.
Until you see a body, or until they show you the body, just assume that they survived somehow.
Yeah, it's pretty humorous, because the same thing happens. Like, oh, Loken must be dead. He was underneath that. Happens all the time.
No. I got out. I'm okay. Well, because they're Astartes, right? Their bodies heal at an exponential rate. They're super soldiers, of course. A simple building falling on you wouldn't kill you.
Also, can we talk about the part when Karn the Betrayer is in the book for like 5 minutes and immediately gets impaled by a dozer blade of a tank and just gets driven away?
Because he was fighting Loken, and they're having a moment and they're struggling, and then I had to like reread the page because I was like, wait, what just happened? How did this fight just what?
The dude got hit by a drive-by.
He really did. And Loken's just like, yeah, I just sunk in the mud, let the tank fall over me, and Loken just gets mauled over and he's gone. And I'm like, that's how you end the fight with Karn? What?
Literally is dueling Karn, and Karn just gets like shanked by the dozer blades of a tank. And then just like gets driven away. I'll be back.
And it was wasn't it like a Sons of Horus tank that did it too?
It
wasn't even like it wasn't even a loyalist tank.
Honestly, it would be more on brand if it was a World Eater tank.
That's true. It would. Boy, they really paint the World Eaters as just brainless savages in this too, don't they?
Yeah, they don't treat them great, honestly. Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, the World Eaters, what are they best for? There's gonna be wave after wave of civilians, and we need someone to absolutely control and massacre all of them. Who's the best for that? Those idiot World Eaters.
It's they don't treat them great.
No, they don't. And Angron is constantly just being an idiot, and Horus is like, oh God, Angron. Yeah, World Eaters? Maybe not. If you're a fan, maybe not the book for you.
No. I mean, the book for you is Betrayer, and that comes down later.
Oh hell yeah!
So you can have that one in the future, but just not now.
Yeah, the author was not a fan of the World Eaters.
It's really funny though. Yeah. I don't know. It's very melancholy. This book. It's very like bittersweet, because on one hand, you knew what was coming the whole time, but you just didn't realize. I don't know. You didn't know how it would go down.
Yeah, the specifics and just how bittersweet it would be, and it's that Torgadon thing hits so hard, and that really, I feel like because he was such an important character that you just can't help but fall in love with. It just really hammers home just how like crazy serious this actually is. I mean, we all know it's serious, but it's like, oh.
Yeah, it was a big.
And it just like sits in your stomach, and yeah.
And then so like obviously we know Loken comes back in the future, but
Mm-hmm.
it's later on. You generally, I mean, if you read it in order, you would think he'd be dead, right? You would think he
Oh
that's the
yeah.
end of him.
I was like, oh yeah, the big climax to this trilogy is Loken somehow just bravely going out in a blaze of glory. Maybe Abaddon kills him, maybe Horus gets him. An important character is going to kill him, where it's like, oh, you fought valiantly against named character, whatever, but yeah, that's what I would have assumed Loken's end would be.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember if it's. I don't think it's confirmed, but it's assumed he's one of the Grey Knight starters, Loken.
Would make sense.
Yeah, there's some weirdness with that. I don't think it's like I don't think it's exactly confirmed, but I do remember this is like one of the first 40K books I ever read. Oh, do we know?
Oh.
Oh, do we know his ultimate fate and end in death? Oh,
Oh.
we haven't gone far enough we haven't done any of the in the end and the death, whatever it's called yet. Crap.
Is the end and death something that we can just jump to, or is that like, oh no, you need like primers for that from like, is that part of a trilogy, or is that like at the very end, or because I kind of want to know what happens to him.
I we should not mention it. We should not mention it obviously in this episode because
No,
I thought of one thing, but I guess I was wrong. However, well, granted, the Grey Knight founding I think happened before because it was made by Malkador, so
right?
it could still have been the case before his final whatever happens to him because I'm assuming he's dead, but I mean it's been like 10,000 years and most loyalists don't live that long. You need to get your
Yeah.
chaos juice.
And he is a space marine constantly going into battle. Like, even if he does find a new chapter, like, you know,
Yeah.
the chances that a space marine survives for 10,000 years, you got to be one giga chad for even that, right?
Oh yeah, decently. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's like the book's really good. The writing's really good. It's so like you're reading the book and it's just like this overwhelming sense of dread.
Oh, definitely. Because especially if like I was gonna say, especially since we know what happens in the Horus Heresy, we know how it ends. It's just like there is definitely this black cloud as you get closer and closer to the end because you know what's coming. I am curious for people that got into 40K with no prior knowledge, don't know how the Horus Heresy ends. Reading these 3 books has got to be a trip.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I do think you kind of need to know how the Horus Heresy goes, though, because the books kind of do make the assumption that you do know.
I guess that's true.
It opens up, right? It's like I was there the day Horus slew the Emperor. Like
Yeah.
it kind of does make a slight assumption that you're aware of what's going to happen.
True. It does. It does. And didn't this one start with I was there the day Horus turned on the Emperor?
Yeah, or like turn traitor or whatever it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a little bit of that still going on.
True.
But it is yeah, it's odd. It's weird. But it's it's good. But damn, man.
It's pretty good. I also liked how this book was like, you could really see the both sides really like leaning hard into their new religious faith. It's like one side is going heavily towards, oh, it's totally fine to worship the emperor now. We have a saint. And the other side is just like, all hail chaos. We love chaos. Horus is the best. Oh my God. Hooray, Horus.
Yeah, he's a lot. Well, was it all hail chaos or some were chaos, but not
Some were chaos.
Some were just
you
like
know.
Horus in general, right?
Yeah. Some were just Horus in general. Horus is with the ruinous powers. And it's like, wow, there really is a stark contrast in the direction both religious extremes are going.
Yeah.
Yep. That's this trilogy is quite a
I don't not feeling it is not happy go fun times.
No. Like we said, this book definitely felt like reading through it was just a black cloud because it was just this sense of impending dread with every page because not too many people make it off Isstvan. We kind of know how that war ends. We kind of know that they do eventually make a siege on Terra. And yeah, it is the Black Cloud book.
It is absolutely the Black Cloud book.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, recommendation still, clearly.
Oh, yeah, still a high recommendation. Read the whole trilogy.
Yeah, you genuinely should. I mean, I don't know if I would say it's required reading for 40K, because most of the time 40K is just, like, what you like out of it.
It's
But
up there, though.
but in this one, like, if you wanna know why people like their Space Marines so much, this is probably why.
Mhm. Band of brothers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a huge part of it. Well,
Hell yeah.
with that all being said, to our viewers, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the book, do of course share. The next one, do we want to go straight into the flight of the Eisenstein, or do we want to take a slight break and try something new?
Hmm.
Personally, I kind of want to read this Lucius book, man.
Oh, the Faultless Blade?
Yeah.
Is it out already, I assume? And this is just a special edition of it that's coming out?
I think it's for pre-order this weekend, which is also when the Emperor's Children stuff comes out.
Okay, so do we maybe wanna do Flight of the Eisenstein and then after that do Lucius? Just because it's on pre-order now, or do you wanna just jump into it?
Well, no, the thing will take it'll arrive well, in time. I'll say in time. Not that we're very good at these book club timings, but
I was gonna say, so in the next 2 months,
yeah,
we'll get the book?
I think it will be up. So let's do Lucius next.
Okay, hell
It's
yeah.
considering how awful that guy is. I
What
am I am so okay with doing a bit of Lucius.
Ah, man, and they paint him as such an amazing warrior too, like, oh my god, like, you can't beat him in a duel almost, and why do you
Honestly, that's half the fun. For I gotta be honest, I'm just like, damn, he's so good, but he's so bad.
Yeah, it ain't bragging if you back it up, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, all our viewers, for watching and listening. We will see you coming in next week. Peace.
Bye.